Again, if you have a question for Hubert, just use the raise hand tool. We'll get started with Josh Graham. Go ahead, Josh.
Coach, I know you've got Miami tomorrow, but pushing things a little bit down the road, as somebody who grew up in Winston-Salem, was born in Winston-Salem, you said that you root for the Tar Heels you root for Wake Forest except when they're playing the Tar Heels. I just wonder if you have any memories you could share about Paterson Avenue and Winston-Salem, your memories there.
I do. That's where I was born, and my mom got her. My mom and my dad went to Johnson C. Smith right outside of right there in Charlotte. But my mom's first job outside of college was at the Wachovia building right there in downtown Winston-Salem, and I remember spending time there on Paterson Avenue and riding my bike and going to the minor league baseball games, and so I've got special memories of that place, and because that's where I was born and that's where my mom's side of the family was. And so I love Winston-Salem, and I'm a big fan of Wake Forest.
Next question is from Deanna King. Go ahead, Deanna.
Hey, Coach Davis, what are the challenges of dealing with Miami's ability to dribble drive and create off that dribble drive?
Well, the problems is they've got some guys that are dynamic and talented enough to be able to create offense anytime that they want to, whether it's for themselves or for their teammates. And just their ability, they can shoot the ball, but their ability one-on-one off the bounce to be able to attack and get to the basket is really good. And so, for us from a defensive standpoint, one of the things that we've talked about is how important it is to be able to guard your guy and taking pride in being able to defend your guy without help, but also putting ourselves in positions, where we can help to protect the paint. In our losses against Purdue and Tennessee and Kentucky, we had really struggled against dynamic guards at protecting the paint. And so that's something that we've talked about. That'll be an emphasis against Miami, that, we've got to do a good job of keeping them away from attacking the basket consistently, whether it's in transition or the half court, and also keeping them off the free throw line. And so from a defensive standpoint, we know we have to do. We just have to be able to do it against a really, really good and quality opponent.
Thank you.
We'll go to CL Brown. Go ahead, CL.
Hi, Hubert. Kind of piggybacking off of stopping ball penetration. How close have you come this season to using zone? I know you've talked about liking to mix up defenses just in general to throw teams off, but to my recollection, you haven't played any actual just regular zone this year.
I haven't, and it's something that throughout the season that it might happen, and you're right, from a defensive standpoint, I like to change defenses. I like to change looks, and that's something that we're going to have to do against Miami. You just cannot give them a steady diet throughout the entire game, because they get comfortable. They understand, where the spots are to attack, and so you have to give them different looks throughout the game to be able to even have a chance from a defensive standpoint to be successful. And so those are things that we will do against Miami, but those are things that we're continuing to do against other teams as well. And that's what I believe in. It's very difficult to defend anybody if you allow them to run their offense like they do in shoot around. And that's something that we're going to try to not let Miami do. And moving forward, whoever we play, try to stop them from doing the same as well.
And I apologize if you're going to be repeating something you've already told us, but when did you first kind of come across Brady Manick in terms of thinking, that you wanted to recruit him to Carolina?
I saw, at the time that I took the job, you just, look at guys available in terms of, the transfer portal. And I actually was looking at an article where it had the top 20 transfers still available, and he was on there. And I, we have this thing called Synergy, and I looked him up and looked at the highlights, and I was instantly impressed in somebody that exactly what I thought this team needed and what I was looking for as a head coach. And so I immediately contacted him and called him, and I'm so glad that that Brady decided to come to Carolina. You know, obviously he spent 4 years at Oklahoma, but you know, a lot of people don't know, like he grew up in Oklahoma. This is the first time that he's ever lived anywhere outside of the state of Oklahoma. So for him to take a chance on this program and to be able to make the impact that he has made, I've said this to a number of people. The only bad thing about coaching Brady is that I only get to coach him 1 year. I just wish that I could coach him more years. And to say my first year as head coach that I have a player and a person like Brady to be around every day, that's a pretty cool deal. And I'm very thankful that he decided to come to Carolina.
Thank you.
We'll go to Ken Segura. Go ahead, Ken.
Yeah, Hubert, I want to ask you about Jordan Usher. I'm curious, kind of, you've seen him obviously over the years a little bit. What have you noticed most about him?
Well, he's always been somebody that you never have to like coach effort. Like he always plays hard. And I said something to him after our game against Georgia Tech. I told him, I said, I just have loved and hated watching him play. I've loved watching him play, but I hated playing against him because he just competes. He competes on both ends of the floor. He never takes a play off. He's always playing as hard as he can. And the way he plays, it just seems like he just loves to compete and he loves basketball. And so even though it's very tough to play against him, it's really nice to be able to see that out on the floor. And I think he's an unbelievable player.
Thanks.
We'll go to Brendan Marks. Go ahead, Brendan.
Hey, Hubert, I wanted to piggyback on CL's question defensively. I know you said, like you said just now, that you like to have different options in the bag, like to be able to rotate things in game. Do you think that some of the defensive mishaps from earlier this season maybe came from the guys trying to get their heads around what they're supposed to be doing at one point? And how much more comfortable do you think they've gotten with that as the season has gone on?
No, I don't think so. At the beginning of the year, we weren't doing a lot of different things on the defensive end. I just, at the beginning of the year, I just don't think we had a clear understanding of how important it is for us to be the best defensive team that we can be. And that, you know, I think we have always have felt comfortable and confident at our ability to score. And I think sometimes that being comfortable and confident in our ability to score has taken us away from what I think is the determining factor of what kind of team we're going to become. And that's how good we can become on the defensive end. And so I think, you know, since the Michigan game, I think we have a clear understanding. I think it's getting better every day of how important it is for us to be locked in defensively. And if we can do that with our ability to score, I think it just really puts us in a really good position to be successful.
And if I can just follow up sort of a different, shorter question. I know you said after the game on Saturday that Anthony was unavailable. Just was wondering if you had an update on him or if you anticipated having him tomorrow.
I haven't had an update on him, but you guys can ask me that tomorrow, and I'll be straight up and honest with you. But I haven't gotten an update. I'm not sure if he'll be available tomorrow or not.
Thank you.
Hubert, that's all the time that I have for you today. Thank you. We appreciate it. We'll see you next week.
All right, see you next week.